Hello, 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 and welcome to the final commentary video for the Clouders and Claws PMVs. Today we are going to be covering Better Luck Next Time, People 2, and Brutus. So, Better Luck Next Time, I'll see if I have enough time to cover everything. There are so many changes. This was made, like, between two different, I can't call them drafts, we'll say re-outlines. So, necklace, representation of her manipulating Quint. We have the argument between them to show that Nick is refusing to let him receive the position he's supposed to have. The conspiracy between the two of them. And then Tabith also betrays him and refuses him a position. Oh my god, the old snowball design is still here. We flash very quickly to Tabith, and originally, Tanel. And originally, there was a whole arc where Quint was the main villain. Because Tanel became head, and Quint didn't know what to do with himself. And then I decided to make him go blind instead. But this part here, that's why they're, like, standing in front of each other, like, kind of angrily. And, the end scroll here for the end screen has, both Stahl, who got fused with a couple of other characters eventually, and Tanel marked as traitors. Because Quint was originally just gonna lose it and go on a Quint-flavored rampage and be the final villain. But the more that I messed around with his character and rolled him around in my brain, the less I liked that. And I came up with the making him be blinded in that fight to keep him back, because at the time my conception of the character was that he would not be able to like not do what he did in this outline unless something took him out. Now my conception of his character, he wouldn't have done that at all anyway, but back at this point in the series, he would have. His version, like this version of the character, would have, done all of that. So I had to take him out somehow, which is a trend with some of my characters and some of my stories. Sometimes you just gotta take them out, or else they're gonna do something that you don't want them to do. So then after that, we have People 2. People 2, bit more towards the most recent draft. So I like People 2, but I didn't do the best job. For some reason, Mauser on the right there is blurry. I don't know why. He just came out like that. I'm like either really good at lip sync or really good at body movements. There's no in-betweens. That's the old Tool design, which was already a redesign from an even older design, and then Tool got cut. R.I.P. Tool. This is mostly just focused on Tabith and Tanel. So this is like Tanel standing up to Tabith. And then the implication here is that Tanel has been murder attempted. So it's not really like I said in the other videos, with the shorter ones there's not really much going on, so it's a lot harder to make commentary on them unless there's a ton that's changed. The refactor still keeps a lot of that. I feel like it's more focused on Tanel's mentality than anything else, and not a lot has changed about that, unlike Quint, who has changed a ton. Then after that, we are moving on to Brutus. which again, Brutus based on an older uh, outline, but it still has a lot going on. Um, I decided to go with this style because it matched with Better Luck Next Time, and I liked the idea of having each character kind of have their own style. At the beginning of there, the weird effects was like them realizing something was different about Baby Quint. Specifically, he used to not have a scent. Now he just doesn't have a Tomcat or Molly scent. Um, so yeah, Quint used to be weirder. Um, and ooh, old Nick design too. I liked the shoulder scar, I guess. But yeah, Quint is kind of jealous of the close, affectionate relationship that Nick and Tabith have, except like he shouldn't be because it's not a good relationship. Um, this one's so fast paced. Oh god. um, but yeah, so we have the murder, and we flipped them here. It's another like character positioning problem. I shouldn't have flipped them, or I should have flipped one of those shots the other way. We have the betrayal moment again. There was originally literally like he found a white feather, and it was like an omen. So that was to represent that. Then again, lingering Ekless influence. Then we fast forward to him with Tanel. This was sort of the start of him becoming the more of like less of an evil, uncontrollable being and more of just a guy. If I was making this PMV, again, I wouldn't have had the images do this. I would have just had the images without the fade in and out, because it's very annoying, actually, and kind of visually painful. At the time, it wasn't. I don't know how. But yeah, just mostly going through the story again. The more similar they are to the current day and the less weird symbolism they have, the less there is to say about them. I love this shot because you could see his eyebrows, like it scrolls up specifically so he looks angry, and then you realize he's actually like upset about having to do this. Um, man, the the Tabith Quint relationship is so interesting. But yeah, here we go. He's been blinded. Um, Again, because still at the time I thought he wouldn't like let this sit down. Oh, yep, there's Tool. And I was saying that Tool had a different design. Yep, that's Tool right there. And that little where is it? Little kid right here. That is one of their adopted children. They were originally going to adopt children. Um, I don't think that made it very far. But yeah, in the refactor, Quint does still go blind. It's just not from an injury. Um, because I wanted to keep the fact that he goes blind, not because he needs to go blind in order to not go on a rampage anymore, but because I liked that direction for him. And honestly, I need to put more disabled characters in Clouders and Claws. Um, Quint is sort of kitty cat autistic already, which means I just need to give more kitty cats autism, because my rule is there has to be at least two. So, like, for example, I have Quint is non-binary, he's intersex, he's sort of like he's transgender queer, that sort of umbrella. So then I also have two other characters that are intersex. Star is intersex, but nobody actually knows it because they can't genetically sequence him, so he doesn't really count as much. And then Chair is an intersex background character who is explicitly intersex. Like, was born visibly intersex, and everyone went, oh, But Chair is also trans because everyone decided that she would be a tomcat, and then one day she went, no, actually, I think I'm a Molly. And all of the crow hunters were like, okay, sure. Which is, it's meant to contrast with Quint's treatment, but also to just give another intersex character, because, again, my rule is I want to have at least two. So if I have a character who's blind, I need to add another blind character. And unfortunately, I did have a second blind character and I cut them. So I need to make someone else blind. Um, uh, if I have an asexual character, I need a second asexual character. Which technically Quint and, oh boy, hang on. Quint and oh, what? How am I blanking on my own character's name, man? How does this happen to me? Uh, I'm thinking of the old name. That's my problem. Quint and Keth. There's the new name. Because Keth got fused with a couple characters in the refactor. Keth is Demi now, and so is Quint. And it's sort of, there was an ace character that got cut or fused with somebody, which is part of how we ended up putting the Demi label onto both Quint and Keth, because I needed characters to be on the asexual spectrum. Because again, I want to have at least two of everything if I can. Problem is, though, I also like to limit my cast as much as possible. So I reuse characters whenever I can. So I will eventually run out of space for two of everything to happen. But I suppose that's the final commentary, which interesting to end on Brutus of all things, but that's just how it was arranged. And with that, I suppose I shall see you next time. Hopefully I will actually complete the refactor in some way, and we won't end up with a draft number 5.